This is Inside with Outsiders. I'm Jeremy Asgari, and today we have our favorite content creator, Katie Romero.
Ooh, hey.
Was that good content creator?
Yeah, that's perfect.
So I was about to introduce you as
What?
a TikToker.
I hate you.
I got the look of death.
TikTok. I'm not a TikToker.
You're not. I understand.
I just don't like that title.
No. But what do you? I mean, you said content creator. That's how we introduce you. Can you explain a little bit about what you currently do, and then we'll get into your story?
Yeah, I'm currently just living life. No, I'm kidding. I create content for brands. I started my TikTok account. That's primarily where I post all my content about a year and a half ago, and it's all about New York City. It's about recommendations, things to do, date ideas. I was going out and about doing so many things, and I decided to post it on the internet, share it, and that started to pick up. And then I started to get outreach from brands to help make content for them around New York City or around their specific product. And so that's currently what I'm doing. I make ads to pay the bills, but then I also just post the content that I love posting.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is your niche? Like, what do you think is like what people come to your page for specifically?
Yeah, it's all primarily New York City like recommendations. So I would say like date night ideas people come to my page for. I'm also like super single, so I do a lot of solo stuff. So I talk about like my solo days or solo dates that people are like really like.
What's the difference between super single and single?
Just like, I don't know, I've just been single for a long time. So I do a lot of things on my own. I also moved to New York City knowing no one. So I do a lot of stuff, primarily solo. And I think people get a lot of inspiration from that, or they get excited to be like, okay, I can do stuff on my own, because it can get awkward or they don't know what to do or what's best to do on your own. So I feel like people come to my page for New York City specific recommendations, but also the niche would be like date ideas, solo dates, solo days, things like that.
And it's interesting because I definitely have seen your page and the dating ideas. You have great date ideas, but when you go on dates, are you the one that plans them? or do you like tell the guy like, okay, you want to take me out? Okay, reference this post from September 5th.
I mean, like, I'm definitely, so when someone like asks me out on a date, I want them to make the date happen. Like, I want them to make the plan, everything like that. But I am like judging.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm like, all right, let's see where you're gonna take me. Like, are you gonna take me to some place shitty or like a bro bar that I'm gonna be like, ew, why would you take me here?
Right.
Or are you gonna like really think this through?
So what kind of style points do you judge on? Like, what are the important factors when you're judging somebody? Because listen, you're the expert.
Yeah.
Literally, you're the professional.
Yeah.
What are the points that you pay attention to that a guy has to hit in order to impress you, or at least make you think like he put enough time into thinking about where he's taking you?
Yeah, well, honestly, it's like for the first date, it's just like it's gonna be a drink. Like for me, it's like either a drink or like a coffee or something like that. It's pretty simple. I mean, if someone wants to go above and beyond, like that's great. But to impress me, the bar is pretty low. I'm like, just something simple if we're gonna get to know each other. So like a cocktail bar or a wine bar or something like that, like a neighborhood that is either close to me because they want to be thoughtful about like me traveling or something like that.
Well, I think I also qualify as super single.
Yeah.
Based on your requirements.
Yeah.
That's
why I say single. It's lame. You're super single.
It's not lame.
No, I know.
Jeez, I mean, the three of us here. Chris is super single as well.
Woo.
Bams, whatever.
Yeah, and
no, we're all single.
Like,
so
I
there's
got
no
a
judgments.
roster.
There's no judgments.
it's called it's called being busy, all right?
I
a lot of
agree.
things to do.
Booked and busy, baby.
There you
go.
I like that.
Exactly. So I want to know about your history. You're not from New York, but I'm impressed, and I told you this before. Like a lot of you're implant, transplant, however you want to say.
Yeah.
But you feature local New York stuff, not just the stuff that everyone kind of knows about, or the stuff that's achieved success already that you want to feature because that's what's going to draw more eyeballs to your page. You focus on local vendors, local businesses, which I like a lot. A lot of people kind of tend to miss. But how did you're not from here. Where are you from?
I'm from South Texas, but I went to school in Austin, and then I went from Austin to New York. And that was just like a huge life change. I quit my job, sold all my things, found roommates on Craigslist, and just like bought a one-way ticket to New York City. Like Venmo'd the girl $1,000 before even meeting her.
Oh, wow.
Like super trusting, super naive, but like all I wanted to do was live in New York City. I didn't care like what it was going to take.
So this is after you graduated college.
After I graduated college, I lived in Austin for about 3 years post-grad. So I was 5 when I moved to New York.
And what were you doing in Austin?
I was doing tech sales. I was in account management for a huge software and hardware company.
Okay.
Boring. Boring.
It's
boring.
It's true, but I can't even see you doing that.
I know, which is interesting. It's like that was my first job out of college, was like cold calling.
Right.
It was like hitting the phones, making 100 dials a day, like chained to a desk, an hour for lunch, back on your computer. Everyone was like asking you where you were.
Yeah.
It was like super hardcore corporate. And I knew in my heart, like, I hated it, but it was like money in my first job, and I was learning like soft skills and shit like that. But
what's
also,
interesting is like you're almost, there's one aspect of you that's perfect for that job, your voice. Like, how do you're from South Texas, right?
Yeah.
So you have no regional accent at all.
No.
Unlike
I was about to ask the same question. How did you come here with no accent?
I know. I don't know. Everyone always asks me that, and I don't know. Maybe I just like adapted to. I used to say like y'all a lot.
Okay, that would have given you away
like
for sure.
Like a very, very Texas thing.
Yeah.
Like I would say I would even say y'alls. Like
y'alls? What's that?
Y'all's already plural, but I added an S to it.
It's like the equivalent of yous.
That makes it super plural.
Yeah, super.
Super y'all.
That's like the equivalent of like the New York, New Jersey equivalent of you, plural is yous.
Yes,
Yous guys.
I know.
Y'alls.
All right, that's Brooklyn. Yous guys. Hey, you guys over there, come over here.
Yeah,
exactly.
my roommates at the time, so I moved into an apartment with 3 other girls, and like one of the girls like born and raised in New York, and I remember walking in there and I was like, oh, y'all's windows are the same. And she was like, what? And I was like, y'all's size windows are the same. And she was like, I'm sorry, I'm like still stuck on the first word that you just said, like y'all's. And I was like, and this was like 3 hours into like moving in, and she's like, what the fuck, like country bumpkin just walked in here. Like, are you kidding me?
I've reacted the same way.
So bad. Sure. I was like, oh, I guess we're not using that term anymore.
No, we're not.
Killed it.
Yeah.
It was gone.
It was like a conscious effort to have to, really.
Honestly, no. I think it's just like you assimilate, like you're thrown into a whole different world, and you just got to like pick it up.
I mean, you have zero, you have like no regional accent at all. So I'm surprised you've never been on TV or radio.
Yeah. And no.
And what's funny is you get recognized for your voice. You told me you were recognized in a coffee shop.
Yeah,
right?
I was like at a cafe.
Yeah.
I was like at a cafe, and she was like, I recognize your voice before I recognize your face. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does stand out. I mean, what's funny is, well, first of all, the way we met was you, without letting us know, posted, and I appreciate you tremendously.
Should have gave a heads up.
No, you didn't have to, because what you did was great, and it was extremely helpful for us, but you posted about Outsiders without tagging us, without letting us know.
Yeah.
And the reason I found out was, one, we started getting a whole ton of new followers, and to the point where I thought we were getting hacked by bots, right? Because we were just getting nonstop. I'm like, I was getting nervous. First I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm like, wait a minute. This could like cancel our entire page.
Yeah.
And then somebody tagged us on your page, and I saw that, and I was like, this is awesome, and was extremely grateful. That's when I reached out, of course. But I was like, this girl must be on TV or radio. She has to be. And the fact, and then knowing your story now, it's amazing. What did you want to be growing up? What you're doing right now is obviously not something that we even knew about back then, right?
Yeah.
So what did you want to do growing up?
Yeah, I think, well, it's funny now because when I was younger, like my mom always had a video camera. She was always recording us. Like we have tons and tons of footage of, I have an older brother, so it's like me and my older brother doing like the dumbest things, doing dances, doing like playing baseball in the living room. Like she was
do you
always
have any
recording
of that content
us.
Still?
Yes.
You do. Can you send it to us?
No.
Come on.
Shit is in a safe. It is embarrassing.
I'm going to hit up Miss Romero. Miss Romero.
Oh my God, she would die. She would love to.
I know.
She would make copies and blow it up.
I think you might have tagged her in the post. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh my God. But yeah, so like I was always in front of a camera. I really enjoyed it. And so when my mom, like now with TikTok, she's like, you've always wanted to do this. Like, this is definitely you. I can see like you as a little girl talking in the camera, and now I see you. It feels like there's a connection. But I was always nervous in front of a camera. Like as I got older, I never really liked being like in the spotlight.
Right.
I think I was always creative. I really enjoyed writing. I really enjoyed photography, things like that growing up. But I just like never saw it as like a sustainable, like not like sustainable income, but just like a career. It was always like make money. You know, what's like the best way to make money so you can do those things because those are hobbies. In my opinion, that's what like I was told, or I was like kind of like shaped in that way, is like those creative outlets are hobbies.
I mean, not just that, but I mean everything I've done in my life as a career, people have seen as like a side hustle, but it's not. Like
Yeah.
Or you go do outdoor things. But what's your full-time job? Every time I do there's two questions I get all the time. One is, why did you start Outsiders, which is a perfectly understandable question. And the second one is, what's your day job?
Yeah.
What's my day job?
I mean, like, honestly, I thought that too when I like first talked to you. I was like, how does this, like, what does this look like? And then going on that camping trip with you, it was like, holy shit, like there's so much that goes into this.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just the CEO of Outsiders, but you're like a program manager, you're a community builder, you're like all these things in one.
Appreciate you saying all this. And
I'm not joking. I was like, holy shit, and you're gonna do this again the next weekend? Like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, but I enjoy it. Like you, like I can't imagine creating that as much content as you do.
Yeah.
Like, and one, I gotta thank you as well. And you know what I'm gonna thank you about? That talk we had in the van on the way back from camping.
Oh yeah.
Because you pushed me to push the the content creation envelope in regards to the voiceovers.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, I always thought like voiceovers would be cool, but it's not me. I don't know how to do that. But you gave me a crash course. You, Gabby, and Audrey.
Yeah.
And Britt as well. But yeah.
No, I really enjoy doing that. Honestly, like coaching is also something like my mom's a coach. And so I've like grown up watching her do those things. And so just being able to help in that way, like being a mentor in some sort of way, like I know these things, so like I should share them, and I like sharing them. So like being like hard, I was like mean to you in the van. I was like, no, you need to do this.
No, but it was
good. I was like, I liked it. Yeah.
You know, and I think your delivery was like, you wouldn't have told me that if you didn't believe I could do it.
Exactly.
You know, so no, I really appreciate it, and I've done a bunch since. And oh my, like the engagement we get is crazy.
It's great, yeah. Well, because they can like hear you. I can hear your like excitement about it. I like can all of a sudden like sense who you are a little bit more. Like, like I think I was telling you this in the van. Like people now want brands that they can connect with on like a personal level. They want to know who's behind the brand, right? Like, when I'm going to buy something, I want to know like who is behind Liquid Death. Like I listened to a podcast about Liquid Death and how they started. I want to buy them so much more because I know their story now.
Yeah.
So like things like that connect. And yes, like you're a doing things brand, but like you're still a product, right? People still want to purchase these tickets. They still want to go on these trips.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And that's part of the reason why we started doing the Inside with Outsiders as well.
Yeah.
Not just to feature the members and the people who partake, but also so they can hear my opinion. If a lot of people want to hear my story and have me interviewed, I will eventually.
Yes, you will.
It might be you interviewing me.
I mean, would love to.
But I figure we might do that on episode 100. What episode what are we at so far? Like 25?
Roughly 25, 26.
I mean, we have like 35 in total but anyway.
Okay.
I'm down to do it. Like I just want to make sure it's like when I do it, I want to do it with the right interviewer, whatever. And I want it to be the right way because I don't want to have to I don't want to miss anything. I want the person to ask the right questions.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, you have a story to tell. I mean, you gave us bits and pieces.
I do. I mean, really briefly, like my path to doing this is pretty contrasting. You know, as far as going from entertainment and nightlife to this, and what you're doing. I mean, from sale. I mean, what you did prior to you going on your own.
Yeah.
It has some alignment with what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that really quickly. You said you weren't sure what you wanted to do growing up.
I mean, I was always interested in like being creative. Like I loved writing. I loved taking pictures and things like that. Like every Christmas, like I would get a new camera, and it was just always something I like played with, but I never was like, I want to be a photographer growing up.
Right.
It was just something that like it was exciting to me. Maybe like, but I never was like, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. Right. I never had that. Creatives don't have that like straight path, you know, like analytical minds have a very like, this is what I'm going to be and I'm going to go do it. I was like, oh, maybe I want to be a marine biologist. Like I had all these different like things that I wanted to be, or I wanted to be a soccer player when I watched Mayhem, like in second grade, like all these different things that were in my head. But it was never like, I want to work in sales, you know, like I want to be chained to a desk. And when I did start working in sales and started making money, which was amazing, I was like, okay, money is great, but it comes at a cost, right? Like I'm sitting 4 or 9 hours a day chained to my desk. Is that what I really want to be doing?
For your life, yeah.
The rest of my life, yeah. And I was like, okay, I know what I don't like and I know what I do like. I like to be in front of people. So I was like, maybe I want to do outside sales. And so kind of dabbled with that when I moved to New York. Transitioned into outside sales, which I really enjoyed, connecting with people. I felt
what is outside sales? You want to?
So inside sales is like all over the phone. Outside sales is like you go meet with clients.
Okay.
And so doing that, I was like, okay, I really like connecting with people. I think I'm way better like in person than over the phone. So dabbled with that for a little bit, but I just knew that like I didn't want to be doing this forever.
Right.
Sales is just such a roller coaster, and it didn't give me the opportunity to be as creative as I wanted to be.
What was your next move from outdoor sales to outside sales to?
Yeah, outdoor sales.
Yeah, I mean, outdoors, outsiders,
Yeah.
outside sales. Yeah.
So outside sales. Then I moved over to a startup called The Nudge. That was where I got involved into doing like recommendations. So they're a text-based service. They text you things to do in New York City. 3 days a week, you get a text with like a detailed itinerary of something to do. And it was all very relevant to that specific week. So like if I texted you Tuesday, I was going to make sure that there was going to be a plan in place that involved like what was happening that week, or like the weather was in, like if it was going to be raining that week, it would be like a rainy day plan.
Right.
And here are like 3 things to do. Like a date night idea because like Valentine's Day was around or whatever. It was all very like hyper specific to the moment. So it was a friend of a friend that connected me to the CEO. It was a small company, 5 people. And they all went to a college that a group of my friends had gone to, and they connected me to the CEO, and they were like, hey, you do a lot already. Like this is prior to the job, prior to TikTok, prior to everything. Like you are always out and about. We see you on Instagram. You love taking photos. You love doing things already. Cause like I said, I've always been the type of person to just walk out my front door and just like go and do my own thing. Mm. And so my friend was like, you would love this company. It's my friend. Please, like they're looking for someone. And I was like already dying with sales. I was like, all right, I need to get out.
Yeah.
How am I going to do this? Like, how do I pivot into a creative field without having to start from like the low end of the totem pole? And so that's when I interviewed and got the job, and started as like the New York City director, which was like pretty much what you do, like community building, but also putting together copy, putting together plans. So like going out and doing as much as I can, and then being that like face of the brand for them.
What did you study in school, in college?
Communications.
Same. So
yeah.
That was right up your alley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, communications is a very broad field, though. I went to a liberal arts school, so I didn't like hyper focus. You know, if I went to a bigger school, I could have focused on like TV or radio or whatever,
right.
Or you know, broadcast journalism or something like that. It was just communications.
Right.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I regret having studied. I do regret that. I mean, I did learn a lot as far as like in my journalism classes on how to better communicate, how to write stuff. Like I get it looked over by first, but I write the copy for all our outdoor adventures, destination trips. Or the destination trips are more important to have like the right copy because people are spending more money. It's more involved.
Yeah.
But it definitely helped me out there. But like PR classes, no one needs to go to school for PR.
Yeah, but see, I didn't even take those like those weren't even classes that were available.
Really?
Like I was a liberal arts school, so it was like weird classes.
Like what?
Just like rhetoric and like reading like philosophy, like a lot of like crazy stuff, like nothing to do with like very specific stuff. Like we didn't have like a public relations class.
Right.
You know?
We did it. It was a joke.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be.
What would you go back and study now if you had a chance to go back and study something different?
I mean, I guess like at the same, I wish I would have like zoned in a little bit more and got a little bit better at a specific craft, like really skilled at something.
Yeah.
Cause like I said, I kind of just had like I had an incredible education, still paying for it, by the way. And so I'm like,
Forget that loan forgiveness.
Like, I know, seriously. I was like, how do I get that going, Joe Biden? But yeah, I had a great time in school. It was a really incredible experience, but I wish I would have like zoned in a little bit more so I could be a little bit more skilled in a specific area. Makes
sense. Same. I mean, I think about a lot of what I've learned and what's helped me in my career has been learned in the field, with experience. So I would have liked to know how to write a business plan coming out of college, how to create decks, but I learned how to do that.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I would change.
Yeah.
So when you're at Nudge, what was that like?
It was good. It was good because it was, like I said, it got me out of sales and it got me into a totally different zone, which I had not like cracked into yet. And it really opened my eyes to like, okay, I can do this. Like I just like, I never thought about going into, cause it was like marketing and copyright and all that stuff. And it was something that I haven't had like experience with yet. And then I started doing it and I was like, oh, I'm great at this. This is something that really is exciting. But it was a small company. I was the 6th employee. We launched New York City in January of 2020 and then COVID hit. So like that kind of took a huge turn.
Yes.
Our whole company was based on, you know, things to do in New York City, recommending you things to do in New York City. And then all of a sudden like the world shuts down.
Yeah.
So we had to like totally pivot our business to like how to stay sane at home and like things to do at home and stuff like that. So we did a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a startup world, so it's like a grind. You're constantly online. You're constantly like you're building someone else's dream, and you got to be all in.
Yeah.
And so it was an exciting time that I'm glad that it got me out of sales. I'm glad that it got me into doing more of the stuff that I really enjoy. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword. You're going to very much have to give up a lot of your time
For that job as well.
for the job. Yeah, I mean, because like this job was like work was play, play was work. I couldn't like really leave it alone. I was also doing so many things and like pitching ideas that would get shot down. And so it was like, okay, how do I find the voice of this brand? And like I said, you're doing all different things. You're the one person leading a huge, like when I left, there was like 120,000 subscribers. I was texting 120,000 people like straight to their phone 3 days a week. And I was just like a huge thing to do. And yeah, I was just like, you're doing 20 people's jobs at once.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was a lot of time. It was pretty taxing, but like that's what happens when you join a startup.
And what was the determining factor for you to leave Nudge and go on your own?
Yeah.
And when did that happen?
Yeah. I think there's like a few different factors. It was like, I was a pretty strong personality. I was the only one on the East Coast for a little bit. So like time difference was really tough. A lot of things that I started noticing about the company that I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is like, this fits for me. And then when I started, so I launched their TikTok. Before I launched my TikTok, I launched the Nudge. I was like huge advocate for TikTok. 2020, I went down like a rabbit hole. I downloaded it. And I was like, oh my God, this app is incredible. I was on it like 8 hours a day. It was like so crazy. And I was like, this is
what was it that was so intriguing about it for you?
I think just like the short form content and just video based.
Okay.
And the fact that you could just consume so much in such a like short amount of time. And so I was like, all right, we're an experience-based company. We should be on here. I'm already seeing people do recommendations on their own. We need to get on this platform. And my CEO at the time was like, no, it's just like kids dancing. Like TikTok is dumb. And I was like, you don't understand. So I finally get them an account at the end of 2020. I post like their first video. And I just kind of like went rogue, made the account. I posted very similar to like the content that I do now. I posted like just like a day that I do, I went to like 3 different spots, posted it, and we got like 1,000 people to subscribe to our text overnight. Wow. And they were like, oh my God, all right, well, like now we see a huge market.
And that's of one post.
That was one TikTok post.
Same with, we had Mike on the show, and he told me his first TikTok post went viral. Like, how do you guys have
it was like a different time. Things were going viral very easily and stuff like that. And so, so I was like, oh shit, like that was really... I saw overnight success from that post, which inspired me to like, okay, maybe I can do this on my own. And I started my own account like 3 months later because like I said, I was doing all these things. I was recording so much video. I had all these like stuff, like all these date ideas and stuff that I was pitching that would get turned down, or like an art exhibit that I went to that they're like, no, we can't send that. You know, there's limited capacity, blah, 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 whatever. And so I was like, well, I'm doing it and I'm paying for it on my own. So I'm going to start posting like the stuff that I like, because at the end of the day, I'm pitching ideas to someone and they approve these ideas. It's not really my perspective. Mm-hmm. So I started my own TikTok. I started posting like my perspective, things that I like, but also like my life, how I moved here, the things that I was doing. And that started to take off. And I started to get opportunities from that, which I was like, all right, if I really wanted to, prior to posting my own stuff on TikTok, I had already had like an itch to move on. And then when I started seeing some like, okay, I can like be stable with this income if I continue doing these partnerships, that's when I was like, all right. But then my TikTok also started to become like a point of friction where I was like, all right, maybe this is like the best move for me to go on.
Point of friction because it's competing with...
Well, like at the end of the day, it wasn't like apples to apples. When you look at a demo, like we were texting people, this is an app that goes out to random people. But there was times where I would post something, it would go viral, and they were like, why didn't you save it for us? And I was like, oh, well, like I had pitched it or something like that. So and also I didn't know it was going to go viral. Like I just like was excited to show it. And so I don't know. So it was like, it started to get like a little uncomfortable, and I was like, all right, I just need to move on.
Now, did you leave in good terms? Like,
Yeah.
still cool
No,
with them?
I mean,
Okay.
we're still great friends. And at the end of the day, we were all like so close because it was 6 people. The height of COVID, we were like trauma bonded.
Yeah.
We were on Slack all day long, on video chats all day long. So yeah, we formed like a really incredible bond. But I think there just came to a point where it was like, all right, I'm not happy and I'm not doing the best work.
Right.
So like I'm doing them a disservice. I'm doing myself a disservice. I think it's just time for us to part ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that you're on your own, I mean, your income is predominantly from TikTok partnerships, right?
Correct. Yeah.
What are your bands? When we were supposed to originally have you on, came up with a great question with everything that's going on with the government and TikTok and them saying that they want these big companies to stop supporting TikTok on their app stores. What are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts? And I'm asking questions that could create anxiety for you, right? So I apologize.
I mean, like, it's not like I haven't thought about it. At the end of the day, I know I have all my eggs in TikTok. But I haven't thought about, okay, like, how do I monetize in different ways? How do I take this one opportunity and start shifting into different focuses? So there's a company that they do where they do like guides, and you can sell these guides. You can do like one-on-one calls. So I'd be like your New York City expert if you were traveling to New York City for the weekend and need someone to plan your entire weekend. We could have like a 1-hour call. I could put together an entire itinerary for you.
I think
can
if you
sell
do
that.
You should do that for yourself.
Yeah,
like,
I need to like start doing. I mean, this is all this like my to-do list is like literally a scroll.
Right.
Like,
I'm sure.
But I was just so burnt out from work, from like my 9 to 5, which was not a 9 to 5, but from like work that I just didn't want to do anything. And so I do these partnerships and I'm like, okay, this is great. I can put it away and I can just like relax and try to get my mind right, try to get my body right. I like have things that like I just haven't focused on because I've just been like work since I was like 16 years old.
Right.
And so now that I have this time, I'm like, okay, I need to figure out where I want to put my focus. And then I can think about those things. Like I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I can, put myself first for once and think about what I want to do if TikTok goes away.
Right.
But it has opened doors for me that I've never been able to open on my own.
I agree. And I think, and I know you talked about Instagram not being your favorite and not wanting to pay much attention to it, but if you can transfer some of those, I have ideas for you.
I know.
Yeah, I've thought about this for you.
I know. Don't worry. Whatever you have thought, I have thought
I'm sure
too.
you have. And do different ways to do like CRM and data capture, all that stuff. That's what I do I've been doing that for decades with event promotion and so on. So so what does your day-to-day look like right now? I
mean, every day is different. I mean, the way that I schedule out my days is going to be, one is either going to be like a full shoot of content, depending on what I'm shooting that day. So is it going to be out and about content, or is it going to be like in front of my camera content? But I try to like schedule them out in different days. Every day is different. Like I said, there's going to be things like this that I have, and there's going to be days where I don't do anything. But it's like I'm not doing anything.
How often are you getting recognized when you're out?
I honestly don't get recognized as much as I like other people. I've been with other people before, and they walk down the street, and like multiple people have stopped them. But I am pretty bad about speaking in front of the camera. I don't really like to do that. It's not like my forte. I like shooting. I like going out and shooting stuff. Like I'll do a little like selfie every now and then. But like other people like sit in front of their camera and talk.
Right.
You
do a good amount of that though.
Not as much as like I should. There's more people that like that's like all they do.
Right.
But like where I feel most comfortable is when I'm shooting.
And when I think I recently saw you're on dating apps. You were on dating apps, right?
Okay. Well, I deleted them, but I feel like I should just get back on them.
Have you ever gone on a date or connected with somebody who's like, I watch your stuff? I know. Yeah.
Well, they've like that's like their opening thing. Like, oh my God, like you're on TikTok, or like. Or when I was like the director for The Nudge, I had that like on my Hinge profile, and some people would be like, "Oh my God, you're the one texting me," or "You're the Katie that texts me." Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I never was part of Nudge, so I never got a text. I don't know what it was like.
Yeah.
What direction do you want to take your business? Like, do you see the longevity? Do you see having longevity in the way you're operating right now?
I mean, no, because I need to be doing 8 million other things, but. I think I said the longevity that I see, obviously consulting, mentorship, things like that. I get hit up a lot from brands to run their socials. I mean, you did that. Yep. You're like, hey. And so that it started, like I said, opening doors in ways that like, oh, okay, I could think about social media. For me, I'm like, okay, a desk job will always be there. How can I take this time to just really figure out exactly what I want to do?
But could you go back to a desk job at this point?
I mean, I could if I wanted to.
Would you
hate myself?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to think about. But if I need to like put food on the table, I'm going to have to figure it out, you know?
Right.
But I think that like where I'd want to go is to continue being my own boss.
And beyond that, like what is like your ultimate, doesn't have to be content creation, but what do you see yourself, your lifestyle, you living, like what is your goal?
Yeah. I mean, my lifestyle is to continue. I mean, like I said, I would be silly to not say that like money is great, right? Like making money will get me the life that I want. And so I want to continue doing these amazing partnerships. I want to work with other brands. I mean, I have my dream list of brands, you know, I want to be.
What are they?
I mean, Nike, I'm obsessed with Nike. So like
tell.
would love.
You got like a full head to toe Nike right now.
Love Nike. Played sports growing up. So it's like, I love what they represent. And so working with them would be amazing. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's just like a list of brands that I'm like, okay, this would be really, really cool. And I just like, I feel like I'm at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to content creation. Like I have so much more to do and to give. I just want to make sure that I don't burn myself out. I feel like I'm the type of person that's like, I'll sprint really fast and then tire,
right.
you know? And so I don't want to do that.
What is it you do to like re-energize or recover?
Yeah, honestly, conversations like this, like meeting other like-minded people. Yeah, like whenever I meet new people and we're talking about content or we're just talking about life in general, I get like rejuvenated. I'm like inspired again and like acting on those ideas. Like just talking to you, I'm like, okay, these are things that I should be showcasing, or these are things that maybe people want. And so I need to go and like shoot that or film that like as I have that idea.
Right. And what do you do for fun personally? And I know it crosses over a lot, right? Because what you find fun, you got a feature.
Yeah.
And what would you do for fun that personally? And then also, I think we need to get you on an Outsiders where you don't have your phone on you and you just enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I like being active. Like I said, my mom's a coach, so we like grew up playing sports like our entire lives. So like,
she's a sports coach.
Yeah.
Okay. When you say coach, everyone says coach. I'm thinking like life coach.
No. Yeah. She's like a sports, like she middle school and high school, and she did it for 42 years. She did it for like ever. Yeah. And so I feel like my most like happiest when I'm active, when I'm sweating, when I'm doing something fun, when I'm competitive, like super competitive. So like when I'm competing is really exciting. Like even playing kickball, I'm like, that shit gets me so makes me so happy. Comedy, I like love to laugh, like going to comedy shows, trying new experiences, things like that is what I really like to do for fun. And New York City is the perfect place to do that.
What about travel? Do you travel a bunch?
I do. I mean, I travel as much as I can. I think like I'm trying to be a little bit smart about my travel. I think right now I'm in like a weird stage, right? Because I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I have X amount of partnerships to make that happen. Or I want to be in a place where I can just like get up and go and not have to worry about the financial aspect of everything.
You know what would be a great partnership for you? Airlines.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, you create such great content. I mean, your niche is great because it's very specifically things you do in New York.
Yeah. But I do want to expand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, that would be, listen, I think what you're doing is amazing. It works for our brand. You've gotten us a ton of new followers, but like specifically into what we do. Like we can get an influencer to partake and they're not things to do and it won't come close to what you can do with a brand like ours.
I think with your brand, that's so exciting. And things that worked for those two, like for the videos that I've done for you guys, it's people are longing for connection and they're longing for ways to make connection in a different way that everyone's doing it, right? Which is like, I guess, dating apps and trying to go out and make new friends, but presenting a totally different way to make new friends was really exciting because that's how I opened up the videos. Like, here's how you can make new friends in New York City. And it's like, okay, how can I do that? And then you're presenting them with like a totally different way instead of being like, go to this networking thing, you know?
And I'm so happy that you featured and that you saw that. Like it was, I didn't have to explain it to you. Matter of fact, we never spoke.
Yeah.
That you
I had never even been to one of the events. Like,
but
I was like, you know what? This seems really exciting. It's honestly from like the videos that I've watched, the people that I like would see comment. I'm like, okay, I know this person, so that seems like I based it off of like who I trusted, to be honest.
A lot of people will be like, if you like going to the outdoors, you check them out, but that's not the focus, the focal point. And I didn't even realize that myself until my cousin was like badgering me, like, what is your passion behind this? What? I know you're not passionate about hiking. What's your passion? Like,
it's the why.
And he kept on bugging me, and I think he already knew the answer.
Yeah.
But he wanted me to realize it in his community. This is people. Yeah. Being able to socialize and not have to be always eating, always drinking, or inside for that matter. So, You nailed it without even speaking to us.
And if taking people out of their element too, especially like city people, taking people out of their element changes them and makes them like a lot more raw than they have to be. I mean, just coming out of that camping weekend, like I feel like I got so close to these people just because I was out of my element and had to lean on them, you know, which was like great. I'm like, okay, this is incredible.
Oh, and then I got to compliment you on your musical taste. She played DJ at our camping weekend night. And it was amazing. Like
that could be my title, hype girl.
Hype girl / selector.
Yeah.
There you go.
Selector.
You did a great job with
I'm
that.
down for
And
that.
You set the party off. I'm a former
I just
party
like,
professional.
no, I mean, it's a bunch of girls. I knew exactly. Well, actually, yeah, you're supposed to be good at that.
I wasn't a DJ. I'll get the people there.
Okay.
You play the music.
Okay.
We've got another coming up September. We might need a DJ.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see these list of questions I have here. Okay, so I know you're not a big outdoors person. We've already established that.
I mean, I like it's hard because it's like
No,
I like nature.
listen,
like I like
your
being
commentary
outdoors.
gave it away, and your comments after you featured us about like how to meet new people, check out Outsiders, and they were asking you questions like, I don't know, I don't go outdoors.
No, I mean, like I like being active, which is the hard part. It's like I like being active, but like, do I like bugs? No.
So like roughing it,
like
no.
snakes?
But
No.
but at the same time, we try to eliminate that barrier to entry and make it like the camping weekend is glamping.
No, I know. You
The
guys did a
camping
great
weekend.
job.
Who goes to a campgrounds that's featuring in Vogue magazine outside of us? Like
Yeah.
we did
Yeah.
that. But as you're Mexican, right?
Yes.
As a woman of color,
Yeah.
what does it feel like to be in the outdoors? Because typically that space is occupied by very granola, tends to be socially awkward white people.
Totally.
I know you're not a huge outdoors person, so maybe you can't answer this question, but do you feel any type of way when you're in the outdoors in that environment?
I mean, it just depends on like where I'm at. I think like when we were you do a really good job of making sure that it's like a diverse group of people, which I really respect. And that's what I'm like looking for in brands, stuff like that. But I've been to camping weekends, or I've gone on hikes in San Francisco, in Denver, where it's like, I'm the only brown person. I no joke, one time heard this person, we were on a hike in Denver and this like family was there, and this dad like called to his son. He was like, Huckleberry, do not pick that rock up. Like Huckleberry. I was like, that is the whitest thing I've ever heard. And what am I doing here? And so, yeah, of course, it is a predominantly white sport, I guess, or like nature is, you know, for them in that way. That's like what I viewed it, you know, from what I've seen.
Which has been how it's been branded in a sense, but it's not.
But like we were there first, or like Native Americans were there first, or like, you know.
It
like
shouldn't be that way. You're right. I mean, but there are barriers to entry, like money, like transportation and all that, which is obviously stuff that we're trying to counteract. But what's shocking about what you just told me, beyond Huckleberry, is that you were on a hike in Denver.
I know.
In Colorado, that's shocking to me.
Yeah, I know.
All right. What is the dream that you've yet to achieve? Is there anything that stands out and you're like, this is what I want to do before I die?
This is what I want to do before I die?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, let's see. I don't know. I mean, like, there's stuff that I like have on my like bucket list of like places I want to go or things I want to do. I really want to like take my parents on like a really amazing trip. They're not big travelers. We've always like growing up very like modest, and so I would love to like take them on a really amazing like international trip or something I can do for them.
Right.
They've always done stuff for me. They're amazing parents, and if I can like provide that for them, would be really incredible.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I think that's a great dream to have.
Yeah.
Got another question here. I love this question. What is your most embarrassing moment?
Oh my God. I have like 7 million.
Let's hear what stands out the most. We've got some really good ones in the past.
Most embarrassing moment?
We have 2 that stand out from previous people we interviewed that were amazing. But go ahead. I'll let you come up with one.
I'm trying to think of the most embarrassing because there's a lot. I mean, okay, so I went to school in Texas, so I was in a sorority. And this was our initiation day.
Oof.
I know. And we were doing this initiation. I'm getting initiated. We're in this like old church, like super fucking old church. And we're blindfolded. And we're carrying candles. Okay, yeah, I know.
This sounds, in a church, sounds satanic.
I know. It was like, welcome to Greek life in Texas. So we're blindfolded carrying candles, and like my clumsy ass. And it's like and we're like in this church with so many candles. I trip. I trip and I fall and I land like on, honestly, it has to be like a blanket or something like that. I don't know. Catches on fire.
Oh my God. Do you still have your blindfold on at this point?
I know, well, of course, I'm like, oh my God, take it off. And it's like, you're not supposed to take it off. Like, that's
right.
a horrible, like, that's like a ritual that is supposed to be sacred to this like long-standing Greek life, what is it? Like, yeah, ritual or whatever. Yeah. And like sets on fire. They like have to bring in like fire. It's like, and then like the school is like, are you kidding me? Because this is on campus. Right. And so it's just like a huge ordeal. Like had to shut off everything. Everything was done. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sure those people are like, no, we don't want her.
Something like out of a movie.
Literally things that happened to me, I'm like, yeah, that would happen to me. Like this literally sounds like I made it up, but like, no, it happened to me.
That is up there.
So yeah, embarrassing.
Yeah, I think it's up there, the top 5. We had 2 that hold the title for now.
It's fine with me.
That's Javier, who had those snap pants.
Yeah.
He got on a bus in high school, I think, and as you get on the bus, the pants got stuck between the doors and ripped off the pants, and he's standing tighty whities on the bus. So that's Javier who stands out.
That's good.
And then Ken Tanaka ran the marathon with food poisoning, the NYC marathon. So every mile marker he had to take a shit.
Oh my God.
So it was it took him 8 hours and 27 shits later.
I've never shit my pants, like thank God. Okay,
Thank
there's
God,
some pretty embarrassing shit that's happened to me, but not actual shit.
Yes, appreciate it. I'm glad for you. Is there one more thing before I ask this final question, and then we go into our last bit? But you said you're single. What kind of guy are you looking for? What attributes are you looking into?
That's a great question. I think
because there's gonna be single guys watching.
Oh, I know. Hey,
sell yourself.
Oh my God. Sell me, sell them.
True.
I think it's like changed throughout the years. I feel like I've looked at like the outside a lot. I've been pretty shallow in that way. And then as I get older, I'm like, honestly, I just like want someone who's like gonna make me feel comfortable. That's gonna like be there for me. I've like taken care of myself for so long that I'm like, it would be nice for someone just like bring up the groceries or like just help me with this one thing. It's like now become the most simplest things that I'm looking for.
Sounds like just like a partnership. Basically.
It's a partnership. Yeah. Like a friend. Like honestly, it's become, like I said, I'm 32 now. A lot of my friends have found their partners and I'm just like, all right, I just want someone who wants to watch TV with me on Sunday. Something super simple. I'm not asking for grand gestures. Just simple companionship.
So you say you're 32 and a lot of your friends have found partners already.
Yeah. The
friends you're talking about mostly in Texas?
No, yeah, if I like think back to them, I'm like, oh, cool, now another group. Yeah. God.
Way to go,
cry in the
Jeremy.
bathroom really quick. Yeah.
I'm saying that because typically in New York, being single, later on is
normal. I think maybe for dudes, maybe it's like more custom for a guy group, but yeah, I'm like in a 15-person friend group. Half the group is moved to like start families, moved out of New York City, and the other half is like all in relationships.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, pretty normal, right?
Pretty normal. 32. I feel like everyone kind of moves into that stage.
All right, but how were their days based on what you do in a day? Like, I mean, that's...
Well, how's your lifestyle compared to theirs?
Yeah. I mean, very different.
I mean, I'm sure they're envious.
Yeah. Like every day or like whenever we hang out, they're like, oh my God, like you do so much, or like, we're so proud of you for what you're doing. Like they're a great friend group to have because they're like huge supporters of what I do, but they're also like want me to find someone, know, every time I see them, they're like, how many dates have you been on? Who's like, they like really want me to be in a relationship. Right. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, I just want to focus on myself, like, I think there's like a huge stigma on like being in a relationship and like people just like want you to be happy. So they think that like being in a relationship is happiness,
Yeah. I know very well. Okay, so is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to talk about, share, anything about you that people should know?
No, I mean, like the things that I've done, I've all done trusting myself. I think like that's something for people to understand. I've quit a lot of jobs because I wasn't happy and moved into different situations. But when I quit this last job to do this on my own, I wish I would have done it so much sooner. You know, like as I'm sitting here now, I'm like, man, I could have been doing this a year ago if I would have just like trusted the process, trusted myself, and just like went for it. And so like just something for everyone is like, if you're feeling the need to do something else, act on it.
Yeah.
And just like trust that the universe has your back and you're going to be fine.
Sounds like Nudge was a great experience for you to get to that point. I mean, given what you do now.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely right. I mean,
it's like I had names for blogs when I was 21. I just like never started doing this stuff. You know, like I've always had it on my mind. I just like something would happen where I'd be like, oh, I get a great deal at work and I'd get excited about the money and I'd forget about like if I could have done this a long time ago.
It's funny because I've always wanted to do this where I feature people, but I didn't want to do it for my previous business because I didn't see longevity in that. I mean, it was nightlife and entertainment. So it wasn't until I got a project like Outsiders, which I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And I feature the people. So I think you're doing what you're meant to do.
Nice. Thank you.
I mean, it's obvious. look at how well you're doing. I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
All right. So last segment of this is a 5 rapid fire question segment.
Oh, that's right.
So you know how this works. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. Outside of New York City, what is your favorite city?
Outside of New York City?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Chicago a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
We're in Chicago too.
Okay. Cool.
Outsiders in Chicago. You should actually. You know what? We recently went to Chicago with some New York outsiders and did river tubing there.
Nice.
It was amazing.
I love it.
And we kind of got to show the Chicago folks, our staff, but also the folks there, like what Outsiders really is about. Because we have like the OG Outsiders staff here, so it was a great time. If ever you want to go, let us know. We'll connect you with some people there.
All right.
I'm sure you know creators there as well. Yeah. But we have some creators we know.
Okay.
If you could do any other profession, what would you do?
I'd be a photographer.
Oh, really? We have a photographer here?
What kind of photographer?
I don't know. Street photographer. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, that's his passion.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Actually, I just Bams, can you show? I just bought 2 photographs from him that are framed. You want to show them on? I love them, so I want to show them. I think they're beautiful. And there goes our rapid fire questions. But I just got
fire.
Guys.
Slow burn.
Little plug for Chris for Bams. Get on camera so we can see your beautiful face. These are the 2 pieces I bought. So I got this one, which is amazing. Okay, this one, and let me see that one.
That's the Manhattan Bridge, baby.
This one's amazing. I love the mystery.
Because I have that shot multiple times.
Do you?
Oh, I have it on the bike lane.
Oh yeah. So this is another one. So where can people buy your work, Chris? ChrisTRamos.com.
Hit that subscribe.
First time we're plugging him. We should be plugging him a lot more. Okay, so next question. Photography is cool. I like your photography on your Instagram. You know, obviously there's no photos on TikTok, but I like your photography on Instagram. What's your vice?
My vice?
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke?
I love Diet Coke.
Really?
Yes, I'm gross.
We're also from Texas. How often?
If I were to say like Dr. Pepper, that's like a super Texas thing.
That is super Texas.
Yeah.
How often do you drink Diet Coke?
I've been on a kick lately. Probably like, I don't know, 3 times a day. It's bad.
3 cans a day?
3 like cans. Yeah. Or like gummy candy. Candy in general is just also my vice.
Really?
Yeah, my great-grandma had a candy store growing up, and so like my mom thinks it's like passed down in our bloodline that we love candy. I'm like, no, sugar is just addictive.
Very true. Good to know. You should get a Diet Coke partnership. Just saying. Actually, probably don't. That'd be bad
seriously.
for Diet Coke.
Oh, dude, I need to stay away.
What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear? Like things or like
anything. It
rejection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like working through fear of rejection. So yeah, I would say like the fear of rejection is something that I definitely need to work through, which is interesting because like all of this at the end of the day is like you're getting rejected nonstop, selling yourself. So
pretty much. And it's funny because I was talking about this weekend, but I used to have a reminder on my phone that said every day on my calendar, desensitized to rejection.
Yeah.
So like put yourself in a vulnerable position. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, doing, promoting events, people saying no, they don't want to come or can't sell out of an event.
Yeah.
That's a form of rejection.
Yeah.
Then there's obviously like, the every other, like asking somebody out or asking somebody, like, that's all fears of rejection as well. So
yeah,
that is a fear that I think everybody shares.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a common fear.
Oh, and the last question is, what's your favorite food and why?
My favorite food is supposed to be this.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't know. You should have prepped me for that. What? Are we done? We canceled?
We're done.
Okay.
Is it supposed to be this?
I don't know. You can edit that out.
No, we will not edit anything out. I like the way it is.
Okay, well, you told me to bring a dish.
So, like I said, bring your favorite
food, and I wanted it to have some meaning. I think that's what you mentioned.
Yes, that's kind of what I was looking for.
I brought watermelon just because whenever I bite into a watermelon,
thank you, Chris,
I am immediately transported back to like all a really great times. So, summer, I am taken to my like grandma's ranch. So when we were younger, me and my cousins, she would literally just like buy huge watermelon, slice it up, and have us like all eat it there in like the front yard. There's like so many photos of all of us in like big T-shirts, like just like classic 90s, where they just throw a bunch of kids in the middle of the yard, and like we all have just like watermelon just like running down our chests. And just we're all just like so happy. And like my mom loves watermelon, so it's like every time we go home, there's always a watermelon there. She eats it with salt, which is like really weird. She like puts salt on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who do that.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. I know there's a Persian breakfast, which is watermelon and feta cheese. That's like for breakfast.
Yeah. So it just like it brings me back to some really amazing times, and it just like always tastes good.
Yeah.
Can't get it wrong.
It's
Great
summer nostalgia for sure.
It's a summer nostalgia, but also just like takes me back to like really good memories of my family.
Are there any foods that like you obviously have a sweet tooth, so candy,
Yes.
baked goods, no?
Oh yeah, baby.
All that good stuff. I've got a weakness too when it comes to like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I
Yeah,
can't.
and like bready stuff. Like I was going to bring like this like Mexican sweet bread, but it's like I'm gonna take a million years to get here.
What's that like? What is it?
It's just like a puffed bread, and it has like some sugar coating on top. It's so good.
So all the good stuff that's typically bad for us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I thought I'd be a little bit more healthy today. Bring watermelon.
Good.
Yeah.
So what's that called though? What's the sweet bread called?
Well, in Spanish it's called a concha,
Yeah.
but it's like in
what?
English a concha, CONCHA.
You know in Argentinian Spanish what that means, right?
No.
It means vagina.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
CONCHA.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what it's called.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Mexican sweet bread is like what it's called.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Is that it?
yeah. I mean, unless you want to, we can keep on talking. How long have we gone so far?
No, I'm like sweating already, so
55. Okay,
that's good.
that's pretty much our average. We've
Okay.
gone over a little bit, but this has been good.
Sweet.
We'll have to get you
Amazing.
back here. Maybe when it's time for me to be interviewed,
Yes,
you can
would love
contribute to the
to.
questions.
Would love to grill.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of people would love to
Roast, grill. I don't know.
grill. Roast. I'm sure it'll turn into that. So I'm gonna be very selective as to who does it.
Okay, cool.
But thank you for
I'll
coming.
just go to BAM and be like, hey, slip me in.
That's going to rule me out.
Oh yeah. Well,
I will give you some questions to ask them.
Oh my gosh, I know.
But I want to thank you for being on the show, but also I
Of
want
course.
to thank you for featuring us and being a super supporter,
Yeah.
and it's helped us grow a lot and get a lot more people in our community. So
Yeah,
anytime you want to join what we're doing,
of course.
just give me the word.
You got it. Yeah. And thank you for providing these opportunities for us. I think this is awesome.
My pleasure. It's also an opportunity for me. I'm be selfish and say the things that we do for outsiders is stuff that I personally need as well.
Yeah.
So it's good for everybody.
Sweet.
Love
Love it.
Yeah, thank you, and stay tuned. Katie Romero, where can they follow you?
At the Katie Romero on TikTok, Instagram,
All right, and soon a website.
and soon a website, YouTube. I don't know. We'll see.
You should.
I know.
All right. Well, we'll regroup
I
next time
know.
to talk about that. Thanks, guys.